on a track where no cars will be seen in real-life tarmac racing this year. Thankfully, here tonight at the Rolling Thunder Racing Series, we have the absolute pleasure of spectating virtual racing here at the Auto Club circuit. Hello and welcome all to round 11 of 20 for the Rolling Thunder Racing Series. I am Mike Noss in the booth. Alongside me today is going to be Robert Covey. As well, thank you to Eddie Smith behind the scenes. And thank you to cameras as well provided by Dougie Beard. We're here at this incredible 2.0 mile circuit located in Fontana, California. Why don't we take a look at this GSRC track guide?
Located in sunny California, a little bit to the east of Los Angeles, lies the Auto Club Speedway. This 2-mile D-shaped oval constructed on the site of a former steel mill in 1995 by Roger Penske and opened to the racing world in 1996. Auto Club plays host to regular NASCAR action every year in the spring, but has also played host to IndyCar several times in its past, including a closed track speed record of 241.428 miles per hour set by Gilles de Ferran in October of 2000. Auto Club draws a lot of similarities to the Michigan International Speedway as the tracks are sister versions of each other. Michigan has the more banking, but Auto Club is wider. Speaking of wide open is the name of the game for Auto Club, as the track's 14 degrees of banking that awaits the drivers in the corner really lends for some great racing. It is not surprising to see them 3, maybe even 4 wide in the corners here. Auto Club is notorious for chewing up tires. So as the driver, you have to make sure that your car goes fast, but then you also have to make sure that you can keep the tires on it. Auto Club also has not been repaved since the track opened, leaving the track surface to become very bumpy, especially on the backstretch and down the front stretch. All in all, Auto Club is a staple of every series that comes there. Drivers love the place, fans love to watch races at this place. Put it all together, and you have a recipe for surefire success. This has been our guide to the Auto Club Speedway. Enjoy the show.
What an amazing track, and what an amazing track guide by GSRC. Now, Rob, why don't we take a little bit more look at this track here tonight?
Well, this track is going to make these drivers really work for what they want. It's going to rip the tire. They've not told the tires aren't going to be too bad, but 11-degree turns, 14-degree turns, 2 miles, D-shaped oval. So there are areas where this car is going to get loose. These drivers may have their hands full tonight.
Most certainly. As we head over, take a look at these drivers' standings. Rob is going to pilot you through those as well.
Well, in our driver standings, right now, holding first place is still Daniel Eberhardt, who has 4 wins on the season. Not seeing him in yet. Hopefully he's going to make it tonight, because Dylan Jones is right behind him, only 9 points, and has shown that he's no slouch either. Third place, Jared Mogard in 15th. Colin Weatherholt in 15th, only 22 behind. Scott Crump and Ryan Johnson in 5th and 6th. Jason Maines in 7th. Michael Larch in 8th. Seth Reed in 9th. And Jordan Berube in 10th. Now, these guys have shown that the championship is still up for grabs. We've had only one winner with more than 2 wins this season, and that would be Daniel Eberhardt III, who we are not seeing in the session, unfortunately, which is going to give some drivers a really heavy chance to be able to move forward tonight in the championship.
Absolutely. Another one to keep an eye out on most definitely is Dylan Jones, a driver who has been consistently in that top 5 and top 10 pretty much every single race, as well with 2 race wins under Dylan's belt. He managed to take the race win last time around at Texas Motor Speedway. Also, Jared Mogard, very hot contender here tonight. We'll see what he can manage. As we have it, of course, big thank you as well, over to GSRC as well. Make sure you guys check out our social media as well as our website and merchandise listed down below. Don't forget to hit subscribe over on the YouTube channel so you don't miss any moments. Next race, of course, is going to be over at Kansas on January 14th at 8:15 Eastern.
Well, in this second half of the season is going to be a handful for these drivers. Everybody's had a big long break. Everybody's been, we had the All-Star race, completely different cars. Everybody's had time off. It's going to be interesting to see where everybody goes tonight and see if they can maintain the pace that they have in the first part of the season with a lot of green flag running.
Most certainly, as we get ready to head into the qualifying, I presume here coming up, we will be able to see some of these times that these drivers are setting as well. Oh, the race details, of course, excuse me. We are here at round 11 of 20, 103 laps here tonight in the NASCAR Gen 4 Series. Fixed setups, no spare cars, 4 total tire sets, and a one green-white checkered attempt here at the GSCR tonight at the Rolling Thunder Racing Series.
Yeah, it should be a fun night watching these guys going around the track. We're looking at probably 22 to 26 laps on a fuel stint before these drivers are going to have to come in and pit. And as we said, the tire wear is kind of nominal, but again, the drivers only have 4 sets of tires. As you can see on board here with Joshua Suss, one of our webcams, live cameras, so we can see how these drivers are handling this car around the track, get a really good view of the wheel work that they're going to have to do to keep this car under control.
As he is attacking that currently with a 38.7 as it stands. He'll be heading now down towards the line, getting as close as he can to that wall there on exit. Comes to it. 39.1. Quite what he's looking for there in Joshua Suss. He goes as well. Manlin currently up in P1, or that's going to be Jordan in P1 with Colin Weatherholt in second. William going to be in third as it stands, though. Jordan having to go at it once again, now heading down towards the first set of corners. Shucks it in on entry. You can see that wheel, very controlled actually, as he reaches the apex there, getting back onto the throttle. Looks calm, cool, and collective is one thing I'm noticing there, Rob.
Yeah, most of these drivers these guys have proven they know how to drive these cars. I mean, even our back runners, everybody has really proved they really have a good handle on how to drive these cars and how to try and get the most out of them. As Lane Doyle moves up to the top with a 38.709. So we jump on board here with Dean Gagliano, who, if I remember correctly, was one of our webcam winners from the All-Star race. So he is one of our brand new onboard cameras using his brand new webcam that he received from a high finish top 5 of the All-Star race that happened over the holiday season.
That's absolutely awesome. You're going to see that incredible setup that he has. Now, I know a lot of people see that setup and oftentimes get daunted in the world of sim racing, but fret not. Of course, there are some drivers out there, I assure you, on just mere Logitech G29s you can manage to make do. But that setup, I do got to say, chef's kiss. That is a beautiful setup there that Dean Gagliano is rocking.
Yeah, really nice setup of triples. Gets lots of view. You can see everything that's happening. So we have Jason Maines has now moved into the top spot with a 38.698. Really good lap by him as we continue on board here with Dean Gagliano on his second lap. See if he can improve. He improves a little bit, a 38.9. Gonna put him, where is that gonna put him? In about 18th position. Probably not gonna be happy with that, but sure he can move himself forward. He's shown he knows how to drive this car.
Scott Crump gonna be making an attempt at it. Currently sitting on pole position no longer as Jason Maines decides that is the moment to dethrone with a 38.6. Actually, 38.643. That is 28 thousandths separating them, less than a tenth separating the top 4, just over a tenth separating the top 5. Got here. What does he have? He's currently looking good, but he loses the back end, and that is going to be the qualifying over. He does manage to go back into the pits safely. Nicely done, but still, the qualifying there so close, yet so far away for Scott Crump. Jason Maines is going to take pole position.
Wow, and for all of those that have been watching this series from the beginning and is happy to see the second half go here, coming into looking at our grid and our top runners, Colin Weatherholt is probably one of the guys I keep rooting for. He's battled, he's done really well, but just hasn't managed to get that first win underneath his belt this season. So yeah, really going to be a good start to this race. And I think we're going to go through some of our drivers. We've got lots of drivers tonight with webcam, starting with, so up in the top left, we have Colin Weatherholt, who I was just speaking about, looking for his first win of the season. Like next to him, William Schwindenhammer, Ryan Johnson. Fun to watch him drive, watch how he works that wheel. You can see him in VR. We rode on board with Dean Gagliano and Brenton Barker, another driver's got somebody behind him keeping an eye on him. And I will pass it over to you, Mike, and you can continue on with our camera drivers.
Absolutely. Brenton looking like his buddy there, tuning into the stream as well. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, Brenton's friend. Justin there as well. You can see looking calm, cool, and collective. Jacob there getting back from the pre-race breaks that all drivers need to take at some point, of course. Joshua looking awfully calm with that mustache firmly planted right on his lip as well. Randall Nicholas with a beard and a half looking nicely calm as well. Almost looking, he's even got a little chatting going on. You love it. That's one thing as well I love about sim racing as well. Jared Haynes down in the bottom right. Can't forget about him. But one thing I absolutely love, Robert, and I'm assuming you do as well. Randall, I got to say, is looking great. But we have just the camaraderie, the community here as well. We have people being brought together, as you see in real life, people being brought together here on screen, Brenton, as well as just chatting over Discord and all the communities that form, all the leagues, all the different forms. It's awesome to see. I just love that here in the sim racing community. I'm not sure you see that as much in the real life racing, but of course it's a completely different animal.
Well, and the thing I love about this, these drivers putting their cameras up, some guys are shy, but just putting their, look at their difference. Like, look at all the differences in the setup. Some guys, Ryan Johnson runs VR with a wheel, looks like he's made, I'm not sure if he, just sitting at a desk. We have Dean Gagliano, triple screen setup. Just the different steering wheels. Colin Weatherholt running an F1 style wheel. Brenton Barker running a standard stock car. Like, just all the differences in all the ways these guys are set up to be able to run in the simulator, and to see them run side by side with such completely different configurations.
Absolutely. And one thing I was trying to spot was the G29. I don't see any G29s in this, unfortunately, but I know they're out there, I assure you. Lots of Fanatec. Looks like some Thrustmaster and some Simicube, maybe? I'm not sure. Jacob here in VR. You can see calm as ever. Oh, that's the G29! Ladies and gentlemen, Jacob with the G29. Oh my goodness, how could I have missed that?
Yeah, and he's fun to watch on top. I mean, he's had a lot. The last couple races really didn't go all that well for him. We watched him win his first race of the season, and I mean, it was just phenomenal to see the expressions on these drivers' faces when they cross the line and they get a podium or a win. It's just we saw his father come in, give him a fist bump, tell him congrats. It's just so much fun to watch these drivers and how much passion and energy they put into this. A lot of people think, you're just in there and you're driving. I mean, you're driving this car for 22, 26 laps with guys on your outside, guys trying to pass you. It's tiring and it's exhausting.
Yeah, as somebody who's done real life racing myself, I mean, not any terms of NASCAR or anything like that, but lower forms, there's nothing like side by side racing. It's something I always go back to, and it's just, it doesn't matter if it's in the sim, it doesn't matter if it's in real life. That thrill and the absolute trust of the person next to you, the trust in yourself and the trust in the people around you that you have to have, as well as they have to have in you. It's a shared feeling amongst everybody, and that's also why in these leagues as well, you get to know the drivers over the course of it. You get to know who you're racing. It's one of the terms, of course, and it really makes for some exciting racing, especially coming here on to round 11. I'd imagine we're going to see some of that here tonight.
Oh, definitely. And I just actually got some word that I should throw in there is we have two new drivers tonight. Number 37, John Lewis, and the Rolling Thunder Series creator and the man behind the Rolling Thunder Series, Justin Rideout, will be in our race tonight.
Wow. Okay. we have the Rolling Thunder himself, if you want to call him a person, joining us. You'd absolutely love to see it. Exciting
Yeah,
racing that is about to happen.
yeah. So we can get into the gridding here, but yeah, I just have to put a shout out. I know he's going to watch this later, and I mean, come on, you're the organizer. Where's your webcam? Why isn't there one there, buddy? Come on.
Took the words right out of my mouth. But as we have it here, going through the grid, we have starting in the front row, Jason Maines lined up on front or in P1. Next to him is going to be Scott Crump in second. Lane Doyle going to be in third with Jacob Manning in P4. Randall Nicholas is going to be in row 3 there, P5, with Matthew Robbins company in 6th. In row 4, we are going to have Justin Ridout in 7th. Michael Larch is going to be in 8th. In row 5 belonging to Ryan M. Johnson in 9th and Dylan C. Jones in 10th.
As we move on through the grid, we have James Shainwolf alongside Bo Tiffany in row 6, with Trevor Williams in 13th and Colin Weatherholt in 14th. Row 8 is Jordan Berube alongside Jared Mogard. Brenton Barker starts alongside John Lewis, who's in 18th. And row 10 is Sean Corcoran and Dean Gagliano, again, one of our new cameras for the season.
In row 11, P21 is going to be William Schwinhammer, apologies, and with Luke Smith company in 22nd. Jared Haynes going to be 23rd in row 12 with 24th belonging to Joshua Sus, 25th. Last but not least, of course, is going to be Drew Ballesteros in row 13.
I am certainly looking forward to the start of this second part of this season. These drivers have shown they can drive, but they've shown they can be aggressive. They can show that they want that win, and they are not afraid to battle for it. Some of our faster drivers, surprised, didn't qualify as well, but expect to see them move up to the front fairly quickly. But again, all these guys have been on a break. It's going to be interesting to see how many have lost it over the last couple of weeks.
Absolutely, as Dylan C. Jones, of course, coming off the back of a victory. Scott Crump was very close, but very far away at the same time. Had a lovely fight, though, with Ryan Johnson. We'll see if that can continue here tonight. As we have it, though, the cars lined up Noah's Ark formation. Pace car going to be pulling in as we get ready to go green here at the Rolling Thunder Series. And as we have it, coming around, completing lap 1, Jason Maines leading us away. Lane Doyle in P2. Michael Larch going to be in 3rd. A nice train of cars developing there as we have behind Scott Crump currently in P4. You can see the outside there being taken from the 12 car, who's pulling a bit of a lead here at the start. But as the whole pack there rumbles around the corner, we can see the action unfold.
Yeah, we saw in that first lap there, you saw a couple cars get really, saw the rear end step out, had to catch it. Maybe a couple, just not really, like I said, the guys have been out of the cars here for a little while, so they just have to get back up to speed. Jason Maines, Lane Doyle, Michael Larch has, really nice to see him up here. He's been battling all season. As we are in the second half of the season and in 2024, these drivers are going to fight, and they are going to want to move forward, as we're on board there with Jacob Manning trying to work his way forward.
Jason there struggling as it seems, but in that pack of cars where anything can happen. The shuffling, of course, at the beginning. The race can't be won on the first lap, but it most certainly can be lost. Side by side, the 8 and the 9 car, the outside lane being taken there for the 9 as he goes down to the wall. Got a little bit better of a run now. Is going to drop to the inside behind for the cars as they squabble for the slipstream, it seems, but the outside line definitely being the favored one, it seems, at the start here.
Yeah, definitely two lines at this track as we see Michael Larch has set our fastest lap of the race so far with a 38.918. Good on him. Like I said, he's been battling all season. Nice to see him running up front. Jason Maines kind of got a hold of it, but Michael Larch is going to try and take it away from him here, kind of keeping the car on the bottom. You see the wheel work there. The problem with these cars, you can get a nice draft on them, but you got to be worrisome about getting too far underneath the bumper of another car because you can lift their rear end up and spin them out quite quickly, which we've seen through the season happen from time to time.
Well, a bit loose there for the number 12. Now, of course, that's going to be actually fairly tight, I should say, but just on the outside line. Going to be saving the tires for longer. That was a little bit loose there for the number 2 as he reached the apex. Now going to be under threat from Lane Doyle behind and under attack. The inside lane being taken there from Lane. It looks like, I think, Michael is going to have to concede that one for now. He is going to get a much better exit, though, down the start-finish straight.
Yeah, and that is the thing about this track is the high line is the preferred line, but if you can get the exit, you know, you can hold that upper line and you can keep that guy on the bottom having to, you know, just work his wheel and keep a hold of the car and not be able to get out as good as you and maintain that position. As you can see, Jason Maines just running the high line of the track. You know, gap really kind of sitting at about half a second, you know, fluttering a little bit here and there on entry, but he's maintaining a pretty good gap here so that he's nice and comfortable. You see the wheel just a jiggle in there as he's trying to come through the corner and hold on to it.
Very rough track, it seems, out there. Of course, being a 5-lane track here, fairly wide. Go through the D-shaped oval. Now coming on down towards the banking, throwing it in, getting close to the wall there, almost a hot lap line. Not quite, though. Of course, going to be saving those tires crucially. Now that's going to be the difference, how tight you take it. A nice exit is going to be pulling so far about a 2/10 gap onto the straight. Behind Lane Doyle, also about 3/10, but P4 Matthew Robinson also having a bit of a squabble. Looking really good, though, from Jason, I have to say. So far, really not putting a wheel wrong, as you can see there, fighting at the wheel, but drifting a little bit wide, managing to keep it under control for the most part so far.
Yeah, one of the things we have learned out throughout the season so far this year is a lot of these drivers are going to save fuel on this opening run. They're not really worried about the positioning. I mean, they are, but I mean, if they have the opportunity to save fuel, they're going to do it. Nobody's, you know, the less fuel you have to put in the car on a pit stop, the more you can move forward, the more you can jump forward. And these drivers will save fuel. We have a few guys that lift early, a few that clutch. But you will see the odd time maybe a driver just fall back just to say, okay, you know what, I want an extra lap of fuel. And it has worked out for a few drivers this season.
Yeah, playing the long game. Potentially they're going to benefit them later as we approach just over 203 miles an hour before reaching the slight braking zone that we have here in California. Just a slight tap of the brakes to get the car just to grip up that front end, really struggling as the air just not pushing down on these, well, not that aerodynamic cars, to be completely honest. These cars are very, very good at traveling in a straight line and as well as in a slight left. Now the 34 car on the inside. Is he going to have a look? Robinson looking awfully eager this early on. I know you mentioned fuel saving. Is Robinson going to throw that to the wind and maybe go for the lead early?
Yeah, again, these are some, I can honestly say some of these drivers we have not seen be able to run up the front so far, you know, through the first half of the season. Nice to see them up front. I'm not really sure what we're going to do as a 34, just slide in the rear end through the corner there, trying to just get everything you can out of the car. But these cars will snap loose in a moment if you're not paying attention to how that slide is going. But he seems to have a pretty good grip of it right now, just on that middle line. Good grip out of the corner. Maybe wants to go and make a run at Jason Maines.
Matthew here on the chase. Jason, does he have a response? Will they use each other? That's the other thing. Are they just going to end up locking bumper to bumper and pushing each other along as these top three are pulling away a decent bit from the rest of the pack? Is this just going to be a little case of maybe we should work with each other here and deal with each other later and pull ahead from the pack?
We have seen that a lot this season from a lot of these drivers. Everybody's, you know, pretty calm through the first half, or at least until the first pit stop, because we do remember, unfortunately, if you happen to bring out a caution here, you will receive, even if your car is fine, you will receive an EOL. And be sent to the back of the pack if you are the cause of the caution. So the drivers do their best to try and just maintain where they are, get through the first couple sets of pit stops, and I think we're about halfway through a fuel stint here right now, before they really open it up.
Now, also one thing I think that you're slightly alluding to there that I just want to touch on here at the Rolling Thunder Racing League, which is just an incredible statistic, by the way, that's what I'm about to say. 93.9% green flag percentage throughout the course of these 11 rounds. These drivers are extremely clean, and it shows so far. I mean, we've had extremely entertaining racing, lots of side-by-side, but the drivers all keeping a calm, cool, and collected head on their shoulders. And it's really just promoting incredible racing, not just for them, but also for the fans back at home.
Yeah, definitely something, you love watching this kind of racing. It is just so much fun. It is to see what these drivers do. Again, I've mentioned this in a couple of the other broadcasts. Again, like some people think, oh, you're just, it's like sitting down with a controller. But I mean, what these drivers have to go through to maintain this car in this position and where they're going, it takes a lot of work. And right now I'm just looking at James Shainwolf, currently in 4th position, one of our biggest movers, having moved up 7 positions. I believe we even have it on board for him as of the All-Star race, so we'll have to see if we can't get our director to bring that up. But doing well, moved up 7 spots, making a run, just kind of holding his pace. See him dive down there. I think he's going to want to go for more positions here as he moves in underneath Michael Larch.
Now having a little bit of a look. Ooh, is that a scrape of the wall for the 34? I think there may have been. Now that's going to severely affect the momentum in the run here. We're going to go 3 wide? No, not quite. The number 2. Actually, I think that was bottoming out. Never mind. That's my not iRacing brain. I'm sorry, folks. I'm not quite as trained at the spotting here. I think that was just the car, the diffuser bottoming out. My bad.
Well, I don't know. I'm watching a few cars here. That tail end is kind of flirting really close to the wall. As we see James Shainwolf make the move on the inside, see if he can hold on to it, if he can get the momentum out of the corner and shoot up in front of him here. But it looks like he's just not going to have enough grip to be able to round that corner and tighten it up.
No, and Larch not really fighting this either. I think Larch just awfully confident there in his driving abilities, sticks to his line, doesn't really do anything too aggressive or defensive for that matter, just sticks to his racing line and calls it good. We see cars now peeling into the pits, I think. Is that going to be an early pit stop? No, I think just a car tucking very tightly down to the inside apron. We are...
Yeah, and he moved forward too. He just took about, I believe that is... Lane Doyle, I believe it's him. He just took 2 or 3 spots on that deep dive into the bottom line.
My goodness. Now, a little bit of a shout out here. I know we had mentioned earlier we have a few new drivers. Of course, Justin Ridout, currently sitting in P10. You love to see it. Excellent job so far, Justin, as well. I think we had, of course, our other new driver, John Lewis, currently sitting down in P23, looking to improve that. Plenty of time, though, to do so.
Well, it is definitely nice to see Justin in the car and on track. We didn't really get to see him through the first half of the season because he is the man behind Rolling Thunder. And there we go. We have him on board, and we can see how he's driving this car. Really great to see him in the series, running with the guys that love his series that he has created so much. It's just phenomenal to see the organizer in a race.
Yeah, absolutely, and lovely decor in the background as well. As he sends it, you can see, taking the more aggressive line here. I think he might be pushing it. Is he coming down to the end of the stint? The car is, of course, getting lighter and faster. The 25 car was well up at the front, now has been relinquished to P12 and falling.
Yeah, I believe he clipped the wall. I believe he slid into the wall there, just tried to get too close, and the car just didn't want to turn for him. He got her into the wall.
Very unfortunate. Justin, though, going to be counting his lucky stars up 1 position. As you can see up ahead, a bit of squabbling as well. The drivers too wide currently. The Heinz ketchup car is that? I can't quite tell from here. It looks like a ketchup livery. Some awesome liveries here provided tonight, gotta say.
Yeah, definitely some really nice paints in here. We even have, I apologize, I should know this, guys, but we even have a driver in here who does liveries for professional racing. That has, if I remember correctly, it is Jacob Manning, but I will have to double check that, and I apologize if I am wrong. But I do know we have a driver in here that does professional liveries for professional racing, and has a nice livery on his car.
Love to see it. Currently, Jacob Manning sitting in a great position as well, P4. Only a 10th behind as well, keeping in that slipstream. You see, actually, well, we don't quite see here, but Jason has pulled quite the lead for himself at this stage in the race. 1.5 seconds. Am I seeing that right? I think I am.
Yeah, definitely. He's pulled himself out. You know, and these these drivers should be coming in about the next 5 or 6 laps. And this is where it plays out. Again, everybody's been pretty good with pit stops for the beginning of the season. Not a lot of penalties, not a lot of speeders. Everybody pretty much able to get in clean. It's all about when you stop, undercut, overcut. As we come in around in lap 21, expect, you know, we've dropped about a second and a half in lap time. So tire wear not necessarily an issue, but definitely going to affect these drivers' lap time. So I'm sure they're looking to come in and get some tires here in the next 4 or 5 laps.
Yeah, of course, the tires to look out for here are going to be your rear right and your front left. No, you're both your rights, obviously. You're going to be taking the beating as this is a fairly banked circuit. And also, a little update from Kirby in chat is it's Colin Weatherholt that does paint for Ed Carpenter Racing, and he actually does it full time.
Ah, thank you. As we have our first pit stop, and it is James Shanewolf. Coming in on lap 22. Probably going to try and get a little bit, he probably got a little bit of damage from the scrape on the wall that dropped him back. So maybe try and get some of that fixed. We'll have to see how long his pit stop is here by comparison with the other drivers once they start coming in.
Yeah, not too out of sequence, as this shouldn't hurt James too much. Hopefully we'll be able to see him back towards the top a little bit later on as he gets served up nicely and back out onto track.
And we have other drivers starting to make their pit stops now. Sean Corcoran, Jared Haynes, Brenton Barker, all cars starting to come in. So looking around 22 to 23 laps per stint. Most of these drivers are maybe trying to get an undercut, maybe hoping something happens, caution comes out, they can move forward, or just trying to maintain and take that undercut.
Or I guess the other question is our tires may be more of an issue than expected here tonight. That also could be the question. I don't think that is the case, as we have more cars peeling in down the apron to head on into the pit lane, getting down to the nice, 60 miles an hour in NASCAR pit limiter?
I believe it is. It's 50. Yeah, I believe it's 60 mile an hour.
Lovely. Scott Crump retains the lead of this race. Actually, no, he does not anymore. He is in.
So yeah, we have Jacob Manning leading with Dylan Jones, Johnson, and Crump in the pits. No, he's still out there. Justin Rideout, Jared Mogard, all these drivers on lap 24, 25, once my timing screen update. And here comes our leader, Jacob Manning, Scott Crump coming in right behind him. William Schwindenhammer so far with the quickest pit stop at a 13.2. So he might have been saving a little bit of fuel. Didn't have to put as much fuel in the car. We'll have to see how our leaders fare out here, as they probably burned themselves down to not a lot left in that tank. We ride on board here with William. You can see, again, just looking at the setups, we do have to remember to ask him about all of those medals on his table to his right there. That came up near the end of the season as to what all those medals are. I think I know what a few of them are, but something we definitely want to talk to William about and find out about.
Absolutely. Some setup with the G29 again. You love to see it. Currently, Justin, I think, has taking the lead of this race as of now and is going to come into the pits, of course. Scott is going to retain the lead. There we are. Scott Crump taking the lead of this race, with Justin going to be behind Weatherholt in third, Mogart in fourth, and Berube in fifth. I know you told me how to say that one. I apologize.
Yeah, Scott Crump comes into the pits. Justin Rideout, Jared Mogart, all still needed to pit here, so they ran their tanks probably pretty empty. We'll see to see how everything cycles out here after everybody's done their pit stops and where everybody sits. As we ride on board here with Scott Crump coming down the pits, 57, 58 mile an hour, just trying to maintain that pit speed and not get us speeding.
No added time needed here for these drivers, as it will most certainly not hurt or not help them in their championship endeavors. As we have a look back out, this is going to be Jason Maines, currently in clear air. My goodness, there isn't a soul around him as it stands. And is that Rob, I'm not personally too familiar with this as not much of a NASCAR driver. Is this a good feeling or is this a bad feeling when you're out there and you have nothing but clean air?
For Jason Maines, he likes the clean air. He likes to be out front. He has shown that through the season. And I mean, these cars, like I said, downforce is not like it is nowadays. But still having that car out front just means that there's no other cars lifting that air force off the front of the car. So you can actually drive it a little bit better, as he's opened up. What do we got? Almost a 2-second lead over Jacob Manning for second right now, which is very comfortable, which means he could save fuel. He could do a lot through this stint to kind of maintain this gap and, ride around and enjoy himself for the evening.
A coast to victory potentially here tonight for Maines, or will the full course yellow come out and ruin his dreams? That will be the question, of course, as we are here on lap 28 of 103.
Oh, and you just had to say it, didn't you? You just had to say it.
Look,
we don't say the yellow in this here. We don't say that here.
I am slightly known for my commentator cursing, if anyone is not familiar. So we'll see. We'll see. Of course, it would spice things up a little bit, but as it stands, we're going to see the number 12 car here pull out to a fairly sizable lead.
Yeah, but we have a nice battle here between Jacob Manning and Dylan Jones here for second right now, and both of them have proven they're not afraid to battle each other. They've scraped paint before. A few of these drivers have scraped paint before. They're not afraid to open it up sometimes if they've got the brand new tires and everything underneath them. So good to watch.
And of course, if you guys are enjoying what you're seeing here at Global GSRC, Global SimRacing Channel, make sure you guys check out all of our social media, our websites, and merchandise store listed down in the description. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as well as it's free here on YouTube. And hit the like button as well while you're down there. Why not?
Yeah, definitely. You want to press that like. This series. These drivers put on a show. As you mentioned, we've had 10 rounds. We've had 6 different winners in 10 rounds. As we ride on board here with Jared Haynes, currently running 11th. Just keep an eye on the thing I love watching on these onboards is just watch their wheel. Watch how much sometimes they have to work that wheel just to hold on to this car and make sure that it stays where they want it to be.
Jared there, you can see him wrestling it. That mustache giving him even more power to handle that wheel, of course.
That's almost an Earnhardt mustache for all intents and purposes.
Now that you mention it, you're not wrong. A little bit of a tribute there, potentially. We'll see if he has that next week when we come back on.
Yeah, but he's floating the number 24 hat. So,
fair enough. That's a bit of a call. Here's some side-by-side action. Jared Haynes going to be having a bit of a look. Looks successful so far. I think it is going to be done and dusted there. The number 11, or rather, excuse me, I think he got overtaken. Apologies. Down a position there.
Well, and if we go through and we look at some of our biggest movers right now, Dylan Jones started in 10th, currently running in 2nd place. Trevor C. Williams started back in 13th. up 9 positions, currently running in 4th. And if we go back down, then there was Ryan Johnson. You know, he's lost a few spots, seems to be struggling a little bit here tonight, but we have seen him pick up the pace after usually the second pit stop. But you can just see the wheel working. It's fun watching him in VR. We've mentioned before, if you're looking behind him there, it looks like he's got a mirror behind him. You can just kind of see what he's seeing. Looks like we can just catch the edge of his monitor in the mirror there, which is a lot of fun, just to see kind of a little bit of what he's seeing. And you can see him just working that wheel, trying to get that car to rotate, and maybe just a little bit too much rotating, having to correct. But yeah, I love these onboards, seeing what these drivers have to do to control these cars.
Absolutely. And of course, using VR, one of those things that I think in the future we are going to be seeing much, much more. Such an incredible tool, especially with the developments that have been made recently, and looking very good out there. Ryan Johnson currently sitting in P12. I'm sure he is going to be wanting to improve those positions a little bit, but nothing to shake a stick at so far, as well as setting himself up for a little bit later to make some moves.
Yeah, and I do have to say, I mean, I've seen, I've been with this series since the drop of the green flag for the first race, and seeing a lot of drivers have really improved. Maybe it's the track, maybe they've gotten in some extra practice over the holidays. But again, great to see guys like Trevor Williams, Michael Larch, James Steinwolf, Luke Smith, John Corcoran, all in the top 10, running nice, having good battles. It's great to see them move themselves up into the front and make a battle for the championship.
And Lane Doyle here onto the outside, going for the tire saving strategy as it seems for now in the fuel saving. Trying to play the long run. Ooh, gets a bit of a touch of the wall, but is he dragging on the wall? I don't think my eyes deceived me on that one, did they, Rob?
No, that was definitely a wall drag. That's definitely going to kill his momentum and move him back in the pack, which I'm sure is not something he wanted to happen.
No, Lane currently sitting, where is he in the championship? He's sitting P16 in the championship. He's had 3 top 10s so far. He's going to be slipping out of that for right now. He needs to hold on. John Corcon in P11 here, just riding the outside there, or inside on the slipstream. Rob, I cannot talk right
now. No worries. Yeah, we're on board. Sean Corcoran, another one of our drivers, has shown he's no slouch. He knows how to drive the car. He knows how to move himself forward. Has had some bad luck for the first half of the season. Sure, he's looking forward to trying to improve that on the wheel. Got really loose there. Trying to improve that through the start of the second half of the season there here in 2024.
And a lovely livery as well there, the pink and blue, or cyan, STP inspired, well, not inspired. Currently sitting in P11 in that slipstream, riding it along. Side-by-side action here between Jared Mogert and the number 25 car onto the outside there. Looks like James there on the outside, going to be trying to get that better run now. The number 15 going to get the best exit onto the straight, and it seems like the 25 going to be left a little bit in the dust. Now you can see from this angle a perfect perspective there of how much damage is on the side there. iRacing doing a great damage model. You can see the side just a little crumpled in from that brush on the wall earlier. And that is definitely going to be not quite what the aerodynamicists had in mind when they sent that car out on the track.
Yeah, and we know with these cars, again, not like it is currently. The aerodynamic, actually, in the older days with the Gen 4, sometimes slapping that wall with the rear of the car actually improved the handling of the car. Believe it or not, just the way that it would angle in and change the airflow over the right-hand side of the car as you're going through the corner. So, maybe struggling, maybe starting to realize he's getting a little better, maybe got a little bit more grip through the corner, can slide it a little more as we're on board here with Scott Crump, currently in 8th position, and wants to move forward in front of Mogart.
On the chase and in the slipstream, you can see he holds his line there, sticking firmly with him. Now Scott having a little bit of a look on a Mogart, trying to get anything he can out. He's going to get a run here, a potential opportunity for the side draft. This is approaching the rear bumper there. What's it going to be? Heading now down to the inside. Can he get that nose just alongside? No, not quite.
Well, see, and there's one of the strategies again that kind of comes into play. See, he's going to try and get him out of the corner here. You know, be able to slide up the track and get up inside him to coming down into turn one, where you can actually get a better shot out of the corner by taking the low line. Looks like he's going to take him here on entry.
Lots of respect being given between both drivers. Plenty of space.
Definitely proven for the first half of the season, these drivers are, you know, and I mean, it's required by the league as well. I mean, by the organizer. You know, if you're a reckless driver, you're probably not going to be on here for very long. As I'm just looking back here, and I'm seeing Jordan Berube apparently had a crash. He pitted and is now a lap down, and possibly Scott Crump maybe had a little moment with the wall there as he has moved down into 7th place.
We'll see how that develops. Whoa, big gains there from the back. I'm not sure who that, very bright car. As we take a look here at our current race leader, Jason Maines, who's had a fairly dominant showing so far, was ahead about a second and a half a good 10 minutes ago. Now, not looking so much. You can see the number 9 there of Jacob Manning closing up into the rearview mirror and is going to be having a bit of a look sometime soon. Now, of course, we're currently 19 laps into the stint. We should be seeing these pit stops come in within the next 7 to 10 laps, I would say, Rob.
Well, I think they started coming in around lap 20, 22 laps, 23 laps on the tires. So 19, so maybe 3 or 4. I really like to keep an eye on Jacob Manning here. I made a comment about him earlier in the season that, you know, his short run speed was great. He usually seemed to lose it on the long run. And apparently after I made that comment a couple times, he started getting a lot better in the long run, even got his first race of the season. So he's definitely somebody that Maines is going to have to worry about, because Jacob has gotten so much better through the season. You can see him taking the low line there. He wants that front spot, and he is not afraid to go after it and take it, which is really great to see by him, because I know he wants another win on the season underneath his belt for sure.
An all-around fighter, Jacob Manning, hasn't been able to participate, it looks like, in the entire series. Has partaken in 6 races of the 11, which as a result has put him quite a bit further down in the championship than I'm sure he'd be liking. P13 as it stands, but still, with only that many races complete and 249 points to his name, a very respectable result, and he is going to be wanting to add another notch onto the belt. Points are whatever, but trophies are forever, and he is going to be trying to take the trophy, at least try to take the race lead for now. The trophy is a bit of a reach away, but for right now you can see gaining and gaining. The slipstream had now. He's going to have a look into turns 3 and 4, and he get it done.
Well, and I'm sure this is something that Manning or Maines is not currently used to. He hasn't really had to look in his rearview mirror here for probably a good, 3/4 of this stint. But now Jacob Manning right up on his bumper, and you can just see the concentration of him. Just, hands are getting sore. You can see him lifting his fingers every once in a while there, just to, get a little bit more. As we got our first takers for pit stops, Sean Corcoran and James Shane Wolf. Jared Haynes follows in suit, and our second pit stop round has begun.
Lovely camera view there as we have it. Jacob Manning almost getting it done, but just not quite able to. Lovely defense there from Maines. Having a bit more of a look again. The inside line very favored there for Jacob. Oh, they're going to brush very close to each other here on exit, keeping it up though. It looks like the number 9 is going to be our new race leader. Jacob Manning takes P1.
Yeah, beautiful move. I really like how he did that. Just kind of waited it out, and then, once he got past him, let the car slide back up into the wall and got that run out. And, now the battle comes. Can he fight and open up some of a gap before he's actually going to come in for fuel, which should be in the next 2 to 3 laps?
Looks like his rival there is in. Jason deciding to go for the undercut, making Jacob now push like heck on this lap. Jacob's going to have the lap of his life if he wants to stay ahead here.
I saw that little wiggle. Hopefully there was, I don't believe he got anything on that, but just about a little bit too quick and down pit road, which could have been very, very bad for Jason Means.
Now, of course, a driver that we're not quite mentioning as of yet is Dylan Jones. Now, Dylan Jones is sitting in a very good position, not just in the race, but in the championship. He is going to be taking the lead of this championship regardless, I think, as long as he, crosses the line and finishes with a good amount of points. Daniel Ebhart is not here tonight, unfortunately, and will not be able to pick up any points as a result. So Dylan going to be taking, presumably, the lead of this championship.
Yeah, and he's been sniffing that lead for at least the last 4 races. You know, just a little bit of a gap. You know, Daniel made a race and was able to open up his lead a little bit, but now that that lead's closing off again, and you know, whether he has it in his head or not, it's going to be very proud for him that if he can get it and take over the lead of the championship before Eberhard returns for 2024.
And that is, of course, the ever-weighted, thing in this championship is Eberhard. When is he coming back? I think he's missed 2 races at this point, which is really affecting his championship. He's still in the lead of this championship to this point, which is quite the testament of his driving, I would say. And hopefully we do see him return swiftly.
Yeah, he you know, sometimes but you know, he puts on a clinic. And all of the drivers will agree. He kind of puts on a clinic when he's here and makes, makes some of these drivers wonder just, are they not driving the car right? So, I mean, he's not out of it. I'm sure he's looking at the standings, maybe even watching this race tonight, seeing what kind of work he's going to have to do to move himself back up as we ride on board with Joshua Suss here coming out of the pits. Pit stop complete. 20th position, a lap down. We'll have to see where everybody cycles out once our final 3 cars come in for pit. Scott Crump, Justin Rideout, and Jared Mogart.
I see a little smile there on Joshua's face when he's chatting away there in his voice channel. You know, that's one thing. The mentalities of drivers, it's always, I like to look at that, where you can see, are they chatty, are they silent, are they dialed? And Joshua looks quite dialed in at this point, it is to be said. He's also got a little bit of element of casualness. I feel like Joshua, it's a bit of a Sunday drive for him, it seems.
Well, and so he's the second driver now I've watched, and you watch when they come out on that straightaway, you watch his fingers on the wheel. These drivers are holding on to this wheel really, really tight, driving this car, because you can see after they come out of the corner, they're kind of flicking their fingers going, okay, loosen that grip. There you go, loosen that grip, loosen that grip. So they're this car is not just kind of rolling around these corners. They're having to work that wheel, and they're fighting that car to make it turn that corner.
Yeah, of course, with modern technology, there's the direct drive wheels producing upwards of, I don't even know, what are the top, 15 Newton meters? I know probably more than that.
Yeah, it's up there. I've heard guys break their thumbs because of hitting a wall with the direct drive. So yeah, the force is there.
We actually just recently in one of the championships I commentated on, someone sprained their wrist. So it's a real threat. It's a very, very real threat. These, it is sim racing, but at the same time, there is still bodily risk on the line. It's not all just butterflies and rainbows.
No, definitely not. As we, Justin Rideout here, coming out here, our organizer wanting to lead a lap, currently in first. He still has to come in for his pit, as does Scott Crump. About a 29-second lead on Jacob Manning, pit in, pit out. Maybe good on him. He's as he dives into the pits here, probably going to fill it up with fuel and try and use fuel strategy and undercuts here, move himself forward.
I was hoping there to see, there's been 148 lead changes up to this race. I was hoping to add one more to this one and have Justin lead a whole lap, but he makes the sensible strategic call and decides to come in for the pits, which, fair enough. Prioritizing strategy over show, to each their own. But Justin there, big shout out to Justin, coming in for his for his stop, the one mandatory, and going to be served up and head out onto track. Handing the lead over to Manning. Jacob Manning there in the number 9, taking the lead back.
Yeah, and by, almost 3 seconds ahead of Jason Maines right now. So, now's the time to just settle in, let the car kind of drive itself, just keep it where you want it. Don't push it. Try and maintain that gap, kind of opening up here, 3 seconds, almost coming up into 3.5 seconds here. But I think a lot of that has to do with the battle going on behind him.
Yeah, 4 wide there momentarily. We're 2 by 2 now, heading through the banking. The number 39 car going to be trying to make it 3 wide as well. This is what we were looking for here on lap 55. Nice little scrap going on as these drivers, they need to get by each other, as this is it's one of those tracks. You got to burst through the bubble quickly if you want to catch them. If not, you're just going to get stalled behind and really struggle. As you can see there onto the outside, Michael Larch kind of forced into a bit of a wiggle more that forced him into a bad spot. Now trying to look at the banking again, side by side up front. We've got the best view in the house, I would say, Rob, here from Michael Larch's perspective.
Well, yeah, best view in the house as long as nothing happens in front of them. It's if something happens in front of you, that's not really where you want to be. As these guys are battling, and as you said, you know what? We're over halfway done this race, and the gloves are off. These guys are going to go for it, and they are going to go and move forward as best they can. As Sean Corcoran kind of gets, he's got that outside line, but he's kind of being left hung out there to dry as they come up on a lapped car here. Very wisely moves himself down the track to allow them through.
Nice respectful racing there from that lap traffic, allowing that battle to resume and, well, keep on at the action. The 38, 39, the 43, and another car involved there. I can't quite see the number, but all these now going nip and tuck onto the straight, the start-finish straight, I think, or not so straight. The D-shaped banking here. Number 3 car changing lanes there mid-corner. Might affect the exit speed potentially. Is all over the back there. This may be it. The number 38 having a look to the inside. Lovely lap traffic, I gotta say. Massive respect there from these back markers. And the front markers are going to be thanking them as well.
Yeah, I think Johnson kind of backed out of it there. I think he was ready to take that dive into and try and take that inside line away from Dylan Jones. Thought better of it. Said, you know what? I'm not ready to do it yet. You can see just how much he's gaining. It seems to be might be doing a little bit of fuel saving here. I mean, the happiest guy in the house right now is Jacob Manning, opening up a 4-second lead while these guys sit here and battle it out for the second and third podium positions. So I'm sure he's got a big smile right now, just saying, you know what, you guys keep that up and I will just keep running my laps.
So does Jason Maines, for that matter. He's also actually 3 seconds ahead of Trevor Williams. Great showing so far. As this battle resumes, though, this is going to be putting them further and further behind the lead pack. But quite frankly, that is not really their concern right now. As Rob mentioned earlier, it's all elbows out from this point on, over halfway through. Of course, the first bit of the race, the cars are going a little bit slower. You're on that max fuel. You're trying to get a feel for the drivers on the track, trying to get a feel for the car on the track. And eventually, everything's all dialed in. Of course, this is these guys' office. The amount of practice, the amount of effort they put in to put the lap times in that they do and to allow this side-by-side action is really second to none. It's almost a second job for some of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, we are running this at night, so I mean, pretty cool temperatures, 67 degrees Fahrenheit. But I can see now we got a southwestern 10-mile-an-hour wind, and I apologize, I'm not sure the orientation of this track, but that's definitely got to be affecting these guys either on an entry or an exit. We've seen how much the wind can affect these cars and just not make it rotate the way they want it to, and it has caught a few people off guard, and those are pretty heavy winds, 9 mile an hour.
Also a very humid track. Now, one thing I know about this track in real life is it tends to absorb moisture quite well. Now, hold that thought, though, as the 38 car trying to get a good drive here. Ryan Johnson onto the outside line, the number 3. What can he do? Jones is absolutely being pressured. I do not want to be in Jones' seat right now. A lot of pressure on his shoulders. The weight of the world currently down there. Then actually, somehow, Williams came off worse there. or Jones, excuse me, came off worse there, and Williams able to take that. Now back though.
Oh, and I will mention, unfortunately, we do have our first retirement of the race. James Shane Wolf, who I believe we did have on camera, unfortunately has retired from the race. Just wasn't able to get the car repaired to maintain and stay within the race.
Unfortunate. As this battling continues on here. My goodness. Jones on the outside. These guys pushing their cars. Over 9,000 RPM on these, I think, right? Over 8,000 at least.
Yeah, a lot of RPM. You know, looking back here from Dylan Jones at Luke Smith. Luke Smith has proved he is no slouch here. Again, a lot of these drivers, you know, you look at the championship and you wonder, but I mean, I've watched these drivers for the first half of this season, and a lot of them are just, you know, bad luck has just reared its ugly head for them. And it is, again, nice to see some of these drivers up front today, really putting it on and showing, you know what, they're not going to deal with where they are in the championship. They want to go move forward, and they're going to do what it takes to get there.
Absolutely. Jones with a look. Or excuse me, Jones rather getting looked on. He's going to hold it for now. I got to say, Dylan has been... He's had a basically hole rubbed in his rear bumper at this point from the likes of Smith behind, but really holding on like an absolute champion. Ryan Johnson also involved in this battle. Jones, though, is the real star of this show and just holding up beyond or against all odds at this point. That rolling thunder on the back is it's rolling strong at this point.
Well, and if we ride on board, we're on board here with Luke Smith. And he started in 22nd spot, and he's about to take over. He's trying to take over 5th, move up 17 spots. That just tells you how much these drivers can drive these cars when they're given the opportunity to move their car forward and they can take it. They can get there, and they, like I said, we've had 6 different winners over 10 rounds. I'm not going to be surprised to see a 7th winner. But Jacob Manning may have something to say about that currently.
On the charge, though, is the 39. Keeping it up strong. We can now go on board with, I think, the 3. No, this is Nichols. Oh, Ryan Nichols here. We get the full beard action. Sending it
There's
now into
Randall.
the banking.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you know, the full beard, just look at the concentration on it. How much you have to focus just to run these cars around.
Blinking about once in every 3 minutes is about the rate for these sim racing drivers. Blinking is optional, let's just say that. But yes, the power of the beard pushing him through the banking is Randall Nicholas. 160 mph there, minimum speed, getting back onto the throttle and trying to get into that nice little squabble ahead. As those guys battle and battle and battle, they're just losing time, and that's going to allow Randall to, well, come into play here very soon.
We're 17 laps into a stint here, 18 laps into a stint here. Gap's closed a little bit. You know, Maines has closed the gap to Manning a little bit, but not really getting any help at the moment to be able to kind of close that gap. Got to kind of hope for Jacob Manning to kind of, you know, maybe let off or, you know, maybe make a little bit of a mistake. But right now, maintaining that gap at around 2 seconds, while all these, you know, rest of the field, nobody has been put away yet. Everybody still has the opportunity to move forward, and they're trying to take advantage of it.
So once again,
Luke Smith has passed Dylan Jones.
Nicely done. Luke Smith moving up the field, down from below P20. Incredible drive so far, but Williams coming right back at him. Number 39 is going to secure, or no, excuse me, No,
he's going after Williams.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, my apologies. Wow. Might be even a podium in it here tonight for Luke Smith. I read that completely wrong. Yes, Luke Smith going to be getting by Williams. So is the number 20 car. Is that
I believe that is that a lap car? That's not Smith. That's not Jones.
That's Colin Weatherholt in P20. P19, excuse me.
Okay, so yeah, Colin Weatherholt, has had himself a little bit of difficulty right now. 2 laps down. Not really having a good night. You know, you can see him on board here. I can honestly say I can see the frustration in him right now that, he's not happy with where he sits right now with this car. You can just kind of see it in his face, just his expression. Uh, just he's not happy right now.
That Fanatec wheel, the
Mainz is in the pits.
Oh my. Early stop. If that is a scheduled stop even at all.
Lap 21, so it would definitely be a scheduled stop.
Okay.
I'm really surprised to see that. I thought, maybe he hasn't been saving fuel, and that's where it comes in too. I mean, seeing Jacob Manning up there. I mean, he is only he's 2 seconds ahead of you, but you can see his bumper, and I mean that just makes you want to drive that much harder and just. Maybe he just burned off a lot of fuel and had to jump in, but we're starting to see everybody else start to make their pit stops as well. We'll have to see how far Jacob Manning can take his tank.
As we also see Seth Corcona. Why can't I pronounce this name? I'm sorry, Sean.
Corcoran.
Corcoran. I'm so sorry, Sean. Into the pits he goes. It's not even that hard of a name to pronounce is the worst part. Apologies. In and out. Very short stop for him. I'm going to be just doing a bit of a splash and dash with some tires and out for a new stint. Jared Haynes into the pits as well. Currently in P19 and dropping. See where he ends up coming out. Question is, when do our leaders pit? That is Jacob Manning, Jared Mogard. When are we going to see them make their stop? As Jacob currently on lap 22. And timing sheet's a little bit out of whack currently. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, so he's on to they're still sorting everything out from everybody that pits. He started his 23rd lap. Trying to remember what he did on his last stint. I think he went 26 to 27 laps on his last stint.
Trying to make a repeat of that at least. See if he can make it do. And is it the right strategy? Of course, that is one thing that as spectators and as commentators, even, it's very hard to see. These drivers, of course, they all have a predetermined strategy going into the race. Now, everybody, though, knows that no plan survives first contact, especially with the enemy. So the plans have to change, and I'd be very fascinated to hear what Jacob's plan is at this stage in the race.
Yeah, definitely. He's. I'm so happy to see him. He has fought hard. He was fairways down in the championship to start the season, as you mentioned earlier. He got a win under his belt and has just been moving forward ever since. Great to see him. Just put everything into this. Looking down, checking his dash, probably checking to see, what have I got left for fuel? How many more laps can I do? As he comes around, he's on lap 24 right now. Just waiting to see him come into the pits. And, once our leaders pit, we'll take a short break. So it looks like he's coming to the pits right now. And there he is, coming into the pits. Get that car slowed down in time. And looks like he is going to be good.
As we have it. Short little break here, and a word from GSRC. Current leader of this race, Scott Crump, with Jason Ridout in P2. Looks like the drivers, though, going to be shaking it up a little bit more here. Dylan making his stop at this stage. It's been quite the race so far, with lots of action that's been had and lots of action to be had as well so far. Rob, I got to say, it's been an absolute pleasure so far, and I'm really looking forward to what's to come, because I know you hinted to it earlier. It's been more elbows out racing, and it's most certainly going to be more elbows out racing later on.
Well, and you take into account during our break there, our leader pitted, everybody pitted. That was the last pit stop. That should be the last pit stop of this race. As we are on lap 78 and getting about 23 laps per car, or 23 laps per stint. So that should be the last stop for everybody. I expect we had the elbows out before, but I expect them to be a little bit more bumpy now that everybody has come through for a pit stop. Except for, Scott Crump has now pulled in and just waiting for Justin Ridout. See if he can come around and lead a lap this time before he pulls into the pits.
That's very interesting. Scott Crump was only out for 15 laps, so he got a little out of sequence at some stage. So did Justin, for that matter. I think Jason will be taking the lead of this race once everything's all said and done, or maybe Justin. I'm honestly not sure at this point, as Justin's a little out of sequence. But Jason, though, as you can see, he's got his own very clear bit of air ahead of him.
Oh, we have a caution.
Behind. Oh my, full course yellow going to be had here. Cars are coming to a slow. What has happened there?
So we have some trouble between, so it looks like Jared Mogard was involved. Just trying to see what I can see here, and maybe our director. Yeah, it looks like Jared Mogard got involved.
Here it is on the replay, folks. Oh, the number 15. Oh, okay. Seems like there's going to be a bit of a bulldozing going on. Let's find out what led up to it.
Yeah, it looks like, so Joshua Suss is a couple laps down. Looks like, yeah, Mogart just slid up the track into him. Really nothing he could, maybe he didn't think he was there, didn't know he was that close to him, and just kind of slid up the track into him, bringing out our first full course caution of this race, which in its own is quite impressive. As you can see him I think he just slid up there, thought he had more room, and it just wasn't there, and puts himself into the wall and takes Joshua Suss with him. I believe he will get an EOL, which will put him back to at least, I believe, 14th.
Joshua.
And what a so Jason Maines has pitted. Are all our drivers going to pit here for a splash and go?
As they've just came in for a stop, you'd think they were good to the end. They could have timed that just slightly later. I know some drivers thinking that, but obviously making the proper strategy play.
Oh yeah, better. If you can come in and top it up, yeah, by all means, come in and top it up if you're not going to lose out on it. And it has been confirmed. The 15 will receive an ELL, Jared Mogard, which will move him all the way back, I believe, to 16th, depending on how this cycles out for lead lap cars.
Now, one driver that I think is going to be affected very, very well from this is going to be our number 8 driver of Justin Ridout. He's going to be looking in a great spot currently. 4th position for the number 8 driver. The man behind the action here at Rolling Thunder Racing Series. And he is looking to put on a great result for his first ever showing in his own league.
Well, and that's got to be, what a better way to start 2024. Organizing the Rolling Thunder Series. He organizes the Rolling Thunder money races, which get held quite a bit. Has really, really taken hold. Runs some absolutely amazing events. Would be really great to see him get, first race of 2024, first race in his league, and to walk away with a win. As we get ready to, we're going to be going green the next time by.
Justin here. Going to be confident as ever. You can see dialed in and ready to go. One more lap here. 2 miles at this circuit. 2.0 miles. The pace car going to be getting ready to trail in, and it will be handed over to Dylan Jones, our current race leader. He will take control of the pace. We come down. Not the start-finish straight yet. That's right. One more banking.
Yeah, a few winners, few losers here on this pit stop, but we'll have to see how it all cycles out. As once we get the green flag, we will be down to 20 to go, 30 to go, 20 to go.
Yeah, 20 to go. Wow, it's absolutely flown by here tonight.
Yeah, green flag runs will do that.
Some drivers still trying to catch up to the back of the pack there. Hopefully they make it there in time. Looks like they should. Pace car now, though, should be getting ready to peel in as we get ready to go re-green. Are we peeling in?
Yes, he does get in this ramp.
Okay. Safety car is in. We are getting ready to go re-green here as we come to the line, and we are green, green, green now, and it's a great start for our P1. Jones immediately rocketing away behind. Scott Crump and Maines are going to be side by side now heading into the first corner. As they approach the slight braking zone, it's going to be 3 wide for P4. Looks like it's going to be potentially 4 wide here on this 5-lane track.
Yeah, 20 to go, gloves are off. Everybody is ready. Everybody's going to go for whatever they can grab here right now and try not to wreck. You know, see the battle here. And like I said, we had a couple of winners and a couple of losers over that caution. Unfortunately for, you know, Jacob Manning got bumped back to 3rd, but he's not going to give it up easy. He's going to try and move himself forward again here. And it get right on the bump. Ryan Johnson get right on the bumper there. You know, gloves are off. Under 20 to go. I expect to see some really, really close and scary racing.
Up to P6 there fairly easily for Ryan. Is it going to be P5? Approaching the back of Randall Nichols, who Randall is another driver who has seemingly benefited massively off of this pit phase. I'm not sure where they were before, but definitely up into P5 now. Much higher than where they were. Ryan, though, what's he got left in the tank here? Is it's going to be green to the end. We also have Justin Ridout up into P3. There we go. Jacob getting dropped down to 4th. Can he fight it back, though? The number 9 car going to be onto the outside, but it seems that Justin had boxed him out just in time before they got to the corner.
Yeah, nice move by Justin to get around him there, and he's not holding back, and this is beautiful to see. You know what? This is my league. I got to show everybody how to drive these cars and how to win a race. And he's just, everything has, the chips have fallen for him so far here in this race as he gets a good run on Jones here on the outside line. He's going to get a great shot out of here, be able to come right up on him as they come through the D, and he's going to cut it as best he can. Watch him come underneath him, try and get underneath him here in turn 1. There he goes, straight down underneath, move himself up. He's going to go over and take over P2, and now he's going to go after Scott Crump.
Textbook overtake to be had there at the end for Justin. Can he keep it up? Does he have not only the fuel, does he have the tires? If he's pushing like this, he is giving it his all. There's no doubt about that. Scott Crump currently about half a second ahead, so not out of the picture whatsoever. Behind that, you can see the drivers nip and tuck, but a bit further back, we have some 3-wide action, I think, potentially. Down onto the apron for Justin. Side by side there.
Yeah, using every piece of the track he can here to make himself move forward. Sorry about that, Mike. Go ahead.
No worries. The number 69 car just getting forced out there. Not quite able, and the 43 has lost the back end, and thankfully, somehow, doesn't collect a soul. Sean. Wow. Yeah. That was extremely close. The only real victim there is most certainly going to be the racing trousers of Sean. We're about to watch what happened here. Let's see. Was there a tap? No, it looks like he starts to already get loose. Manages to keep it, though. The back end slipping, and he just goes right into the number 1 car and loses it. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, just trying to hold on to it. Maybe even a little bit of neck coat in there on him. Um, yeah, definitely unfortunate. Fortunate for everybody else that he didn't, didn't collect anybody. But now brings everything else back out to play here as we are down to 13, 14 laps to go. Again, my math is terrible tonight.
No worries.
But I mean, Scott Crump is going to lead us to the green flag with Justin Rideout. Jacob Manning, Dylan Jones, Ryan Johnson, and Michael Larch. These guys have fought all season. Every single one of them deserves a win. And even Luke Smith started 22nd. Look at him, 15 positions up, currently in 7th. I think he would like a podium, but I think he'll be quite happy with where he sits right now if he can maintain that until the checker flag drops on this race. We have some pit takers as well. Probably this. I think it's our back markers. Maybe grabbing the last set of tires.
Fair enough. Making the last little charge at the very end for whatever they have. Free pit stop. Why not? Scott Crump, though, he is going to have a very, I'm not going to say aggressive or angry, but a determined Justin Rideout behind him, trying to take that P1, as this full course yellow, I think, plays right into the cards of Justin once again. I think he was pushing those tires quite a bit, and this is just going to help him. Every lap behind this full course yellow is going to be more of a benefit for him.
Yeah, and I mean, Scott Crump in front of him's got 10 laps on his tires. Dylan Jones has got 12 laps. Justin is the highest car right now with the least amount of laps on his tires. He's only got 8 laps on these tires. And like I said, I don't like calling it because it's always going to end up being a curse, but I would love to see him win this race tonight in his first race in his series, to take a win in the first race of 2024. I think would just be a phenomenal task and something very, very noteworthy for him.
Absolutely. I made the comment earlier that these point standings or whatever, you can join into a league whenever. It's the trophies. The trophies, they stay forever. And a P1, well, that's the biggest trophy you can get.
Oh, absolutely. And he's been doing this for, like I said, he runs some money races, and he says he does it just to make make a league where everybody can race clean, have fun. And again, just everybody out here fighting, and whoever beats them, I'm sure they're going to be really happy, as pace car is going to pull off as we come down into the back straight here. And once that car comes out of turn 4, it will pull off the track, and we will go green again for the last 12 laps.
Can Scott Crump hang on? This is going to be his redemption arc, as of course Dylan last week took the win in the last lap. Well, he had the position, but they were battling. And can Scott get the win again? He needs another win there to his belt, at least. Well, he wants it. He definitely wants it. But Justin Rideout, I think, is the fan favorite here tonight, and I don't think there's any hiding that, quite frankly. It's coming into it. What can he do? One more corner to go before we end up going green. Or 2 more.
Yeah, we'll get on board here with Justin and just kind of see how he handles Scott Crump here, and see where Scott Crump pulls out here as they come out of the corner here. Everybody's hands are getting tighter, grip around the wheel. Everybody getting ready, waiting for that pace car to pull off and have Scott Crump in the green light. You can see Justin right out there just watching that car on his outside to see what he's going to go. There they go. Beautiful shot by Scott Crump. Got a little bit, I think he caught Justin out a little bit. Wasn't expecting him to go, but I'm sure Justin's not going to give that up very easily. And these guys in the back are not going to just sit back and watch what happens in front of them.
No, Justin, not quite what the start he was looking for. Immediately put under pressure by Jacob Manning, and he is actually, Jacob there, going to get relinquished by Dylan Jones. Dylan with an incredible run, going to be going down the inside as well of Rideout. is going to get it firmly secured as well. Side by side, though, the number 8, can you get a better exit now? Justin, with the fresher tires, well, at least in terms of laps, the fresher tires, on the charge. But Dylan, our previous race winner, he wants it again.
Oh, he does love to win. He will take a win. You know, on board here with Jacob Manning, just what is he looking at? He's watching for one of these two to make a mistake, give him an opening. You know he can make the move and move himself forward. Biding his time here right now, watching these two in front of him. And Justin Rideout is, you know, got his hands full here with Dylan Jones right behind him.
He most certainly does, as all over the back there, and now down the inside. Looks like he is going to have it done, but I've said that before. We'll see if that remains true. It looks like this time, though, I think Dylan should have that done and dusted. Scott Crump, though, pulling away while all this is happening. Half a second currently is the gap. Justin.
Ooh, I think he just scraped the wall a little bit there. Manning's going to take huge advantage of that. Yeah, he lost a ton of momentum when he scraped the wall.
Justin potentially seeing red here. There's a little bit of a red haze developing in his eyes, and he needs to calm that down. Keep it calm, cool, and collective, because there's still 10 laps to go here. Battling alongside, though, the number 9. Down onto the apron again. That seems to be Justin's favorite line. He keeps the fight in it, though.
Yeah, he seems to really get a better run off that low line. You know, he's got around Manning there, but just got to watch that slide up because, big moment for Manning.
The side draft there, a little bit too much almost. Manning, though, able to hold on. Although, now that's going to be Johnson having to look in this action as well. This battling between Rideout and Manning has backed them up now a little bit. In fact, we are going to be seeing Jones. You can see is pulling a slight gap, but not quite enough to be really sizable. Going to be looking up ahead, though, at Scott Crump rather than in his rearview mirror, which is where he needs to be at this current moment.
Well, we are under 10 laps to go here, so these guys aren't going to hold back, but they are going to try and, they're going to try and move forward, but they got to try and do it without causing an incident. They really don't want to be the cause of a green-white checkered because it's going to take them completely out of the race. But right now, Scott Crump, good half a second lead over Dylan Jones. Dylan Jones, a good half a second lead. Looking at some of our fastest laps there. Justin Rideout, Jones and Crump, good 1 second lead over the rest of the pack. I'm sure they're not happy to have that, but I think if that is how it would end, they would all three of them be quite happy that way.
Yeah, I think most certainly, but still, I think everyone wants to win at the end of the day. And what do we have here left in the tank? Jones on the oldest tires out of all of them, 2 laps older than Scott Crump. Justin on the freshest rubber, well, actually tied with Manning. They both came in on the same lap. What is left? What is left in the tank here? As it seems Scott very, very consistent through and throughout here, looking to add another check mark into that race win category here. Scott so far has had 1 win over the course of this championship, looking to double it up, but it's not over until it's over.
No, and these guys have shown anything can happen. We're seeing a few cars getting a little loose here, back further in the pack. We still have, we're coming down to 5 to go here. So nobody's really going to be holding back. Everybody's going to go after everything they can. Scott Crump's going to be looking in his rearview mirror, trying to maintain that half a second lead. Justin Rideout's going to try and close in on Dylan Jones and take over that P2 spot. As we can see him starting to close in on the bumper on him here now, making him look in his mirror. Takes that underside line. Going to get a really good run, be able to stay right up behind him here as they come out of turn 2. This is going to be his opportunity for sure to make himself move forward. Oh, and we have caution out again. Number 35 of Bo Tiffany.
You hate to see it. Now, is that going to help or hurt Scott Crump? Now, we saw the last full course yellow Scott with an absolutely stellar, may I even say textbook race restart. Here's the replay, of course. You're going to see what has gone on here. The 35 car being caught up in it. 15 car bit off speed.
No,
Oh, it's
ooh,
tagged
yeah.
from behind. Oh
He
my
gets.
goodness.
Oh, and I think there was a little bit more going on there that we just happened to miss out of camera view. But yeah, it looks like the who is that? That is the 89 of Jared Haynes. Looked like just got into the back of him, got off track, and then collected one. Great evasive by everybody else. I think that might have, a little bit of a bump there from the other car, but yeah, very, very unfortunate. Now I have to let me do my math here because I think we might come down to green, white. No, green, white checker, maybe.
That's going to be close.
It's going to be close. I think we're going to come down with we're going to be looking at a two lap sprint out of these drivers when we come back to green here. So this is these guys have put on a show every single race, and they are not going to disappoint us tonight.
No, most certainly not. Very unfortunate there. Luckily, only 3 cars getting caught up in that collision. I say only 3. We're going to see a lot of cars pull into the pits. I think that's 4 cars pulling into the pits, interestingly. 3 of them obvious, but I'm not sure what the other one's about. Scott Crump going to be back on back in his office seat, really. Calm, cool, collected to the end, as I always said. And Dylan Jones, what does he have left? I know I said it before, but he was over half a second behind. Now that gap going to be reduced down to nothing. Justin was the last man who had the attempt of going for the P1 at the restart. It's going to be Dylan's chance this time around to see if he can have redemption and go for the back-to-back.
Well, and you look at the numbers here. So Scott Crump, 21 laps on his tires. Dylan Jones, 23 laps on his tires. Justin Rideout, 19 laps on his tires. And he's starting behind Crump this time. So if Crump goes for that outside line, really good opportunity for Justin to hold on to that outside line and maybe take over second place from Dylan Jones if he can run with Crump off of the start, if Crump doesn't pull too far away from him. And then, of course, in 4th place there, Jacob Manning, he's not going to let it go either. So this is going to be one heck of a start to see how everybody goes here. See him down on the open there, trying to conserve as much fuel as he can, keep those tires cooled down so that he has as much as he can possibly get when the green flag comes out. I believe with 2 to go or 1 to go. Lights are still on the pace car, so we are looking at least 1 more lap. So we're going to be looking at a 2-lap shootout here.
Yeah, green, white, checkered down to the very end. And now, of course, we're limited to 2 of those, correct? Or is that false news?
I'm sorry. Well, we will have one green, white checker if they do not come around halfway around the track on lap 103. And they will be starting 102 when the green flag drops. So, as we said earlier, elbows are out, hands are tight gripped, focus is forward. Let's see who can pull this off.
And of course, the famous saying being safety cars breed safety cars. And in these full course yellows, or especially down to the wire here, 3 laps to go as it stands. Going to be down to 2.
Lights are off. You can see the focus of Jacob Manning there, right behind Dylan Jones. We ride back on board here with Justin Rideout sitting behind Scott Crump. Or no, he's actually behind Dylan Jones. So, it's the position that he's in, but again, fresher tires. Pace car will pull off as they come out of turn 4 here. Let's see how this start goes.
Absolutely fresher tires for Justin, as well as the slipstream as they come around the banking. Scott Crump, though, going to be taking the pace car position as we come around turn 4 and head on to the start-finish straight-ish. Scott Crump leading us away here. Going to be able to take the green whenever he would like as we get ready here to go green, green, green now, heading off again, and it's going to be a pretty even start this time, it looks. No, Dylan way behind and under threat from Jacob Manning. Justin Rideout as well is going to be at a pretty mediocre start himself. Everybody fanning out, though, 2 wide from behind, 2 by 2 by 2 from behind. But the front, though, it seems everybody getting a fairly similar start.
Yeah, unfortunate for Justin there. Just didn't get the launch that he wanted. Jacob Manning took complete advantage of him. Moved up into that P3 spot. Scott Crump right now, still under threat. We still got one more lap to go after he comes across the finish line. We will be getting the white flag, and Dylan Jones and Jacob Manning are not going to let him have it easily here. As he will look at that dive down the inside there to try and catch him.
Any opportunity is going to be on the table now. Scott Crump pushing, and pushing. Dylan Jones also trying to hold on. What has happened here? See some.
Oh, and look at Justin putting everything onto Jacob Manning here. He's got the outside line as they come down the back straight here. Justin, organizer or not, he wants that podium, and he's going to go after Manning here for it. This is going to be great to see how he comes out here.
Ooh, getting so close there.
Is he going to get him? I don't believe he did. Just missed out on him. What a finish.
Absolutely. Scott Crump is going to come to the line here and take our race win. Round 11 here at the Rolling Thunder Racing Series. Behind him will be Dylan Jones, and it's not decided from there on yet. Oh, it's already decided. Finished. Oh, we're good. Jacob Manning going to be in P3. Justin Ridout in 4th. Ryan Johnson in 5th. Randall Nicholas in 6th. Jared Mogart in 7th. Luke Smith in 8th. Colin Weatherholt in 9th. And Trevor Williams rounding out our top 10. As we're going to have it, we're going to send it over to a little bit of a break here. And be back with our closing segment. Welcome back, everybody, and what a race it was, round 11 here at Rolling Thunder. We have Scott Crump taking the win here tonight, going to be rounding our P1 in the number 11 car. Dylan Jones in second in the number 3. Jacob Manning going to be bringing home P3 with Jacob in P3. We have Justin Ridout in 4th. Ryan M. Johnson going to be bringing out 5th position with Randall Nicholas in 6th. Jared Mogard going to be 7th quickest, and Luke Smith in 8th. Colin Witherholt in P9, and Trevor C. Williams rounds out our top 10.
Yeah, and we move into 11th here. Jason Maines takes 11th place. Michael Larch finishing in 12th, with Lane Doyle in 13th and Sean Corcoran in 14th, and Matthew Robinson in 15th. Before we move on to William Schwindenhammer in 16th, one lap down, along with Bo Tiffany, Brenton Barker, and Jared Haynes. Dean Gagliano in 20th spot, 2 laps down.
And rounding out the back here is going to be P21, John Lewis bringing up the number 37 car in P21. Drew Ballesteros in P22, Jordan Burbo in P23, Joshua Suss in 24th, and James Shanwolf in the back. Last but not least, number 25 in P25. We're going to move on to our interviews here now, as we have some drivers to talk to. Starting us off here, it is going to be the race winner himself, Scott Crump. Second race win of this league. Must feel pretty good.
Yeah, it felt pretty good tonight. Just played a strategy all night. Happened to work out in our favor.
Very dominant, I would say, in terms of strategy. You pretty much led when you were leading the race. It was extremely dominant. You managed to pull a good margin ahead. I'd imagine that's a good bit of comfort for you as a driver, knowing that you have that about half a second margin consistently to the driver behind.
Yeah. Well, I had a little bit fresher tires there at the end, so that definitely helped. Couple laps makes a big difference. If not, I think Dylan could have definitely gave me a run for my money there. I think he had maybe 2 lap older tires or something. That's a big difference in these cars.
Yeah, it looked very strong though. I got to say, even with the tire difference, yeah, you're mentioning a little older, but your strategy, all in all, just coming out to perfection. I think you maybe had the fastest lap. Don't quote me on that, but very dominant performance all around. And moving on to next week, of course, we are going to be over at so apologies. We're going to be over at Kansas. How are you feeling for Kansas next week?
I love Kansas. Kansas pretty fun track. I think it's going to be probably very top dependent there, which is also going to be fun. Yeah. Crazy night. I knew coming in you had to make at least like 25, 26 laps, be able to make it on the 3-stop strategy or whatever. And yeah, we were looking good there. Justin and I were about on the same strategy. It was going to be between me and him. I messed up on my pit entry on one, just about wrecked it, and gave me a 1X. So that hurt a little bit because that took away 4 bonus points, which been pretty big on missing out on them this year. I think I missed out on a bunch of them this year. So it definitely holding me back in the points a little bit right there. So yeah, so big night tonight. Hopefully we can continue the momentum.
Absolutely. And lastly, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, get a shout out to my sponsors, Stay Tuned Sports Podcast, grandfather watching, probably brother watching. Shout out to my wife, who is 8 weeks pregnant with our baby girl. And yeah, shout out to myself for my birthday tomorrow. So early
Let's
birthday
go.
present.
Happy birthday, Scott. That's Scott Crump, everybody, the number 11, with a dominant performance here tonight. Thank you very much. Now moving on, of course, up next, it's going to be Dylan Jones.
Hey there, Dylan. 10th of a second, just that little bit short tonight. Tell us about your race. Looks like you had a couple moments there, but all in all, I think you're pretty happy with where you finished tonight.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. We obviously screwed up on the fuel mileage race if that went green, so I kind of needed a caution. But the caution towards the ends kind of hurt us a little bit. We needed that to go green. I was trying to save some tire because I think Scott had, I don't know, a lap, maybe 2 lap newer tires, and those are pretty hard to overcome here. So I was trying to save some tire, but still didn't have enough.
Well, and I believe I don't do the numbers, but I believe this is actually going to move you in front of Daniel Eberhardt and to take over the lead for the championship. How does that feel, for the start of 2024?
Hey, that's a good start to 2024. I don't know where that dude is, but uh, he had a pretty good lead going in here, and he's missed some races. So hopefully he comes back. But I'll take on his mistakes there and not showed up.
Well, definitely there. So yeah, congratulations again on the number T2, and I believe moving team to first place in the championship. Anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go here tonight?
Just a big thank to Justin and everyone at Rolling Thunder. It's an amazing league. You guys at GSRC for broadcasting it all, and all the drivers coming out here.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Dylan, and once again, congratulations. See you in the next one.
Of course, moving on. Up next, it is going to be our P3 finisher, Jacob Manning. Jacob, with a P3 here tonight, I'm sure you were maybe expecting a little bit more out of yourself. Maybe not expecting, but hoping for a little bit more out of yourself. How did it feel in terms of that tonight? I mean, you looked very dominant, to be fair. You put on some incredible battles, and what a show for the crowd. But P3, how's it feel?
Pretty good. I mean, first of all, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. He was with me tonight. He's been with me man, for the longest time. But especially I would say the past couple of races, I've had to take a step back, and this was one of those ones where I was just like, you know what, I want to win, but if it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world. In the end, I'm just out here having fun racing, and so I just want to come in here and do my best, and so I've had to just sort of take a step back, and so yeah, I mean, I'm having a good old time. I'm having fun. So that was awesome.
Yeah, you came here to race tonight, and that you did. With the battles that you put on, I think you were on camera probably most of the time, to be completely honest, just in constant scraps and so close margins the entire time. That just has to be, I mean, like you say, that's why you're here, right? That's the whole point of the racing and just enjoying the whole aspect of, well, the camaraderie and everything.
Yeah, I mean that's all it is. I paid to come out here and race, not to make money. It's not to put on a show. It's to do what I love to do in the end. And if I'm not having fun, what's the point in doing it? So I had to take the step back. I made a lot of stupid mistakes this season that I'm not really used to making. The pressure was high, and I really felt like I was a bit misunderstood because I was making a lot of mistakes and I didn't really get a chance to come back from that. I'd either get wrecked out or make another mistake the next week. And so I sort of had to regroup myself and get it back together and come out here and try and race these guys as hard as I can, but as clean as I can. I don't want to make contact with these guys, but I do want to race them super hard and show them that, I'm here to have fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have one race win to your name so far this series, which is nothing to shake a stick at by any stretch. Bringing up another top three here tonight. How does it feel moving on to Kansas in the next race?
Well, it feels good, especially if Daniel Eberhardt's not going to be here because, he's whooped us this whole season. I mean, he's just put on a clinic. It feels like every single race. If he doesn't get wrecked out, he's going to win it. So, no, I do hope he shows up next week, though, to make it a ton of fun. If somebody else is able to win, hopefully me. I guess that's how I think. But, um, I feel good. It feels good to just, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to do the best I can. If I can come up and be in the booth again, that's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. I love it. If I can't, just know that I plan on being back here.
Yeah, absolutely. An awesome job here tonight, Jacob. Is there anyone else you'd like to thank here tonight?
Man, you guys up here in the booth, man. You guys doing this every Sunday is pretty cool. I appreciate you guys who are up here every week and the admins who are, have to sit here and watch us race. I couldn't imagine doing that. So thanks to all you guys who make this happen, make it work so well. And yeah.
Pleasure's mine, Jacob. That's once again Jacob Manning, P3 here tonight at Auto Club. Thank you so much, Jacob. And well, what a race it has been. And also, of course, what am I doing? Of course, I forgot completely. We have one more in mention here tonight. The man himself, the Rolling Thunder. It is going to be Justin Ridout joining us here tonight. Justin, incredible race. Your pit strategy, well, the full course yellow playing into your hands just beautifully tonight. Almost the race win was on the cards, but you just weren't quite there to seal it.
Yeah, I did not want to see any yellows come out because it would have came down to me and Scott. We were on the same strategy. It worked out. I think it would have. I was able to go one more lap at him there at the end, and then it would have been whoever came out of pit road first. Um, Probably would have won the race. I would have had about 22 laps of fuel left, or laps left to go on fuel, so I would have been full throttle. And I think Crump probably would have had to save like a lap or two just to make sure he got there. But who knows? Caution came out, ruined my plans. Still had a chance. You know, I had the freshest tires. Got by Jacob, got up to third, getting ready to. I felt that I could pass Jones, but then you know, caution came out again, and it just it was done from there. About that time, all the tires were probably about even, and I wasn't really that good starting on the bottom, and that's what I did. But I didn't want to ruin anybody's race, take any points away. So trying to keep it clean, coming to the start finish line with Jacob was fun, and he nudged me, so I told him he's probably suspended for the rest of the season. So it's all good.
Hey, Justin, Robert here. Great to see you in these races now. Are we going to see you racing for the remainder of the season here, or is this going to be a one-off for you?
No, I'll probably race in Kansas maybe, and then Homestead, and that's probably about it. I'm just gonna race a few here and there just to make sure we have the cars in the field, and I definitely don't want to be on the track to mess anybody's points up. So I'm extra careful and try not to race anybody too hard, So um, I kind of miss racing all the time, so I come out here every so often, but it's not going to be an every week thing.
Well, I feel like I might have even cursed you a little bit here because I said, what a way to start 2024, the opening round, for you to be in one of these races and to actually win it would have just been a phenomenal start for you and the series for 2024. But sure, you're quite happy with the fourth place because I've been here since the start of this series, and you guys just put on a hell of a show, and the way you organize it is just phenomenal to watch every week.
Yeah, it's a great league. I love the drivers that we have. The respect that's shown on the track is like no other. Our 93.9% green flag. You probably don't find that in a lot of leagues, and these guys, uh, it's because of the drivers that we have. They race hard. They're clean drivers. They show the respect on the track. Things are going to happen. Like tonight, there's a few wrecks, but overall, it's hard, clean racing, and it's fun to watch, fun to go back and watch, and it's shaping up to be a good little battle here with the last half of the season.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to let you go here and let you enjoy that fourth place. It's nothing to sneeze at. And anybody you want to thank before we let you go here tonight?
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys up there in the booth. You guys are a big part of the success of this league. The drivers in the league is, I want to thank every one of them coming out, and hopefully we continue to bring more people in and shape up for season 2 at the end of March, and just keep this going. It's been a lot of fun, and again, I thank everybody. Thank you guys up in the booth, the admins. They do a hell of a job. The drivers, and thanks for all the people watching these broadcasts.
All right. Well, Justin, go enjoy yourself, your evening, and your fourth place, and we will see you in the next round. Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. What a race. It's been just a stellar one. Round 11 here tonight at the Auto Club Speedway located in Fontana, California. Up next, of course, is going to be Kansas, January 14th, same time, 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to check out our social media and websites down in the description and listed on screen currently. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. And while you're down there, hit the like so you don't miss a moment here at the GSRC. Until next time, keep clean, race on, and we'll see you out on track.